Does anyone have a question?
Stuart, I have a question, Bob Sink.
Yes, one.
How best to be in relationship with friends and extended friends who are finding themselves dying? How to best be in relationship
With friends who are doing what?
that are getting ready to unexpectedly die?
I mean, look, how best? Just love them. Leave them alone. I mean, look, one day we all have to go through that and support them, love them, you know, and understand, it's just a transition that human beings have to go through. And that transition is essential because it's the way that the soul grows. Soul comes here, it lives in a body for the lifetime of the body. And supposedly in that lifetime, it is supposed to get training on how to develop a spiritual life. We have chakra systems, we have wisdom, we have knowledge, we have love, we have so many remarkable attributes that have to be developed in a human being for the soul to attain a state of enlightenment. And then one day we transition, we move on. And we move on for a period of time. But then, I mean, in the Tibetan Buddhism, it's supposed to be 40 days. You go to the bardo and they train you to come back here and continue on the voyage that the soul has taken. So I think, people lament, they cry, they moan, they complain, and I think when people are leaving the world, we have to rejoice. We have to be, we have to support them with the deepest and profoundest love that we can find inside ourselves. And to give them that support, will help their soul to move on, will help their soul to reincarnate, on a higher level. And I think that's basically what else can we do? I mean, all the mourning and the complaining I mean, look, I've been to enough Jewish funerals. I mean, it's like the third act in an opera. People screaming and crying and yelling and all I think the soul of a human being that is passing wants from us is to rejoice, to love them, give them that energy of love, give them that energy of, a highly developed human nature that can love unconditionally somebody. And I think that's really the key to all of this. When people are born, children are born, infants, everybody rejoices. You can't look at them without smiling, without wanting to hug them and hold them and dance with them. And then, they get older and a whole different personage is somehow getting ready to leave the world. Well, why can't it's the same soul in a body that has really gone through the trials and tribulations of life and is ready to take a rest, to move on, to prepare itself for the next incarnation. So what I suggest is the thing that I do. You just love the people. You do the best to get out of their way. I mean, being born is an organic thing, leaving the world is an organic thing. And we as human beings are so used to grabbing things, holding on to everything, protecting ourselves, that we think we can defeat this thing called death. We can't. It literally consumes the world, generation after generation. So all we can do is embrace it, open to it. And say, just as we ask life, what does life have to teach us? What does dying have to teach us? And I think that's a very important thing to learn in one's lifetime. What does dying have to teach us? What does living have to teach us? And finally, accepting the fact that none of us are going to be here through eternity. The soul will be here through eternity. But these physical bodies that we have, they come and go. So just love them, Bob. And whatever their journey is, support it, be happy for them, you know, and just bring that love to them. And I think that's the best service you can do them. It's a very difficult thing to learn. And that is, what do I have to learn from dying? What do I have to learn from living? If you embrace living and embrace dying, you've embraced the totality of everything. You really are free. I mean, there are two students here that are having children, you know, babies that are going to be born. You know, the joy of birth enables us to get through the travails of life. And yet we have to learn that every day we can be reborn. Every day we can find that infant in ourselves that's ready to be born. And children teach us that. You know, they're not full of all kinds of conceptual ideas and right and wrong and prejudices. And I mean, it's just a bundle of love, you know. And we also should be bundles of love. And that's why we work on ourselves, because somewhere between birth and now, you know, that whole bundle kind of vanished and we need to rebuild it. And frankly, with every class and every inner work one does, you get closer to learning from life and learning from birth and learning from death. Learning that it's all one. It's all one university that we have to learn from and experience in order to move on and find a state of enlightenment. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to?
I have a question, Stuart. Chris.
Yes,
Stuart, I've been working to be nothing and to be fully nothing. And I have glimpses of that. But I'm wanting to know, is it the same thing as being in oneness? Is it the same?
well, if you're full of yourself, there's no room for oneness.
Yeah.
Where can it fit? The
Yeah.
ego is too strong. The image you have of yourself defies oneness with the universe. You know, you have to surrender. You have to let go of that, all of that stuff that interferes with becoming one with the universe, which means you have to become nothing inside. Now, again, it's a scary principle. I mean, I have to be nothing. All my life, they've been training me to be something. You're telling me to be
Yeah.
nothing, you know? Well, you have to understand the meaning of nothingness in the context that I'm speaking. Nothingness allows you to be a vehicle through which all of spirituality can flow, all of higher energy, all of creative energy, everything that gives birth to life can flow through you. And it brings with it knowledge, wisdom, love, joy, foundation, tantra. It brings with it the highest levels of what it means to be a human being. What keeps us from attaining the highest levels of being human is that we're full of ourselves. And being full of ourselves, we're full of a lot of shit.
Yeah.
A lot of tension and anger and guilt and fear. And you understand, how can you be one with higher energy if you're one with that? You're one with lower energy.
I understand.
So, when I talk about nothingness, I'm not talking about just empty spaces. I'm talking about being free of yourself so that you can become a child of God. You can become, a vehicle through which higher energy can flow, through which energy can flow that creates the entire world. And once you begin to experience that kind of energy, you don't walk around with all these opinions and, being right and wrong. You accept that life is what it is, a manifestation of higher energy in the universe. That's what this meditation is all about, getting free of oneself, learning how to do it, transforming oneself, to learning how to turn tension into something that gives life. Letting go of ego and ideas of who you are and who you're not. Well, one day, every one of us becomes nothing.
Yeah.
Just nothing. You might as well learn how to do it so that the universe can come in and watch it create existence. All of creativity flows through each and every human being. And the only thing that congests it and creates gridlock is the images people have of themselves and who they are and what they are and blah, blah, blah. That's where the gridlock is. Does anyone else have a question they'd like to ask? Okay. Getting to where I'm without words. And what else can you talk about if you talk about stuff like this? You know what? Politics.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yes, anyway, you're welcome. Anyone else have a question you'd like that? Okay. I say it a million times, I'll say it again. I'd like to thank everybody. I mean, your presence here is amazing to me. It makes me grow. And I have nothing but gratitude to each and every one of you. Keeps me humble. I sit here and know I have work to do on myself. And each and every one of you reminds me of that. You know, we all have work to do on ourselves. So thank you, and God bless everybody. And there'll be a meditation on, what's today, Monday, on Wednesday. And I'm looking forward to seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Stuart.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You, Stuart.
Have a wonderful evening.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.